One of the things that I wanted to start off with is talking a little bit about why we bought the ranch. Look, I think that at the end of the day, our life is filled with challenges. And more than anything, the quality of our life is defined by how we face those challenges. I was listening to this podcast the other day with Chris Willis, and he asked one of the guests, he said, "How do you think about taking action in spite of fear?" And the guest had a perspective that is very similar to mine on life, which is go. Just go. We all have noise in our heads. We all have noise from the outside, social media, family, friends, teachers. There's influence everywhere we look. And all of those people are not trying to get us to not take action because they don't want us to succeed. They're trying to keep us safe. They're trying to protect us. But at the end of the day, only we know what is truly best for ourselves. And so when we're put in a position where we face a challenge, how we respond and how we choose in spite of the fear, I think is what truly defines what our life looks like. And I can only give you the example of the ranch because I'm here at the ranch, and that's the most recent story I have of facing a challenge. I really want my in-laws to move to Austin, Texas. I don't know how many more times I can say it on a podcast, on an Instagram reel, on someone else's podcast, to them, to my wife, to my family, to my friends. But I really want them to move to Austin because I want them to be surrounded by their grandkids. Like, studies show that not only do the grandkids' lives get better when they're surrounded by their grandparents, but there is actual evidence, research, and data that suggests grandparents live longer when they are happier, and that is directly tied to proximity to family, specifically grandkids. So I love to manufacture and create challenges inside of my own life because I recognize life is filled with them. And if I can train myself to get better at responding to the challenge in spite of the fear, in spite of the doubt, in spite of the noise, I will do a better job of that when I'm dealing with my children. I will do a better job of that when I'm dealing with my wife. I will do a better job of that when I'm negotiating a $10, $20, $50 million deal. So I love to manufacture challenges. Heck, I started this podcast by saying I don't really like horses. I'm extremely allergic to horses. I think they're beautiful animals. They eat way too much grass, but I am extremely allergic to horses. But I was watching the Kentucky Derby this year with my wife, and I just had inside of me this desire to become a jockey. Not forever, not legitimately, just one race. Because I know the adrenaline rush sitting in the gate, waiting for the race to start, will be exponentially higher than any nerves or fear I could have negotiating a business deal, making a hire, making a fire. And so I love to manufacture challenges. And the ranch has become a manufactured challenge for me, for my family, for my friends, heck, for my team, probably the most, because we have zero experience around ranching. Like, I wasn't the typical fifth generation cattleman. I wasn't born on a ranch. I haven't been branding cows since I was 5. I haven't been herding cattle since I was 10. I have zero experience with cattle and ranching outside of going to the fair and looking at the dairy cows. So I created a challenge of, if I buy this ranch, I have the potential to lure my in-laws to moving to Austin, but also I will be met with challenges each and every day that I have no awareness and no knowledge around because I don't have experience ranching. And so you recognize that when you create these challenges, you never truly feel fully ready. And most people, myself included, wait until they feel fully ready to take action in life. But in reality, the most important thing that I have found is taking action in spite of your preparedness, your readiness, or even your confidence in your ability to pursue whatever is facing you. So for me, this ranch has been a manufactured challenge. this ranch is a reminder each and every day that regardless if I'm ready or if I'm not ready, that I have the ability to find the way or make the way to do whatever I desire in my life. And what's fascinating about that is the challenge initially was to get my in-laws to Texas. Then the challenge became, how can I become a rancher? Now the challenge is, how can we build the best herd of Longhorns? Because believe it or not, there is a ton of money in Texas Longhorn cattle. And it's not for the meat. It's for the pedigree. It's for the conformation. It's for the disposition. It's for the tip to tip in their horn length. And so I have a challenge in front of me each and every day. Who am I going to breed my next cow to? Man, I hope it's a heifer, not a bull calf. And for those of you that don't know, a heifer is a female cow that has not yet had its first baby. I did not know that when I got into ranching. And also, the amount of people that come out here to the ranch and see the Longhorns and don't know, just as I didn't know, all Texas Longhorns have horns. Yes, both the men and the females, the bulls and the cows, everybody has horns. And so this challenge for me has been a reminder that you don't have to have all the answers when you get started. You don't have to be fully prepared and fully ready. You just have to be willing to be brave enough and be bold enough to choose, in spite of the fear and in spite of the doubt, to take that actions to move forward. And in my journal this week, I was reflecting a lot on this concept called the delayed hydration effect. So when you are thirsty, the brain says, hey, I'm thirsty, let's drink water. Now, if I were to take a drink of this water right now, you will feel yourself subconsciously either get thirsty or feel like you too just drank water. And I actually am thirsty, so I'm going to drink the water. But this delayed hydration effect, I think, is so coincidentally linked to success in business. Because a lot of times in business, we take actions thinking that when I do this, the results will happen immediately. And in reality, just like in life, in business, there's this thing called the delayed hydration effect, which says that when you are thirsty, the brain says, drink water. You drink water. Depending on your hydration level, it actually takes somewhere between 15 and 60 minutes for your body at a cellular level to experience the benefits of the hydration. But the predictive mind, the part of our brain that says, ooh, what's happening next? Ooh, what's happening next? Tells the brain and the rest of your body, you drank water, you're good now. So we in reality aren't actually feeling the benefits of drinking the water. However, we feel the benefits of drinking the water because that predictive brain says, hey, delayed hydration effect, this is what happens. We drink water, eventually it works its way to a cellular level, and we are no longer thirsty. Success in business, success in life is no different. And when I was reflecting in my journal, the last 6 or 8 months have been hard. I mean, most people you talk to right now in business, unless they're in AI or the publicly traded markets, have been feeling as though they're getting kicked in the teeth. Money has become tighter. Deals have become harder. Capital has become more expensive. Sales have become longer, harder to close. A lot of people, myself included, have felt as though the last 6 to 8 months have been a kick in the teeth. And I recognized while I was journaling this morning that I was doing the right things for the last 6 or 8 months to get that delayed hydration effect concept to become real in our business, to become real in my life. But the predictive brain didn't know it because I didn't have the experience around getting kicked in the teeth at the level I was getting kicked in the teeth at. So even though I was doing the right things, even though I was taking the right actions, the predictive brain did not know that the results would follow. But as I sit here today, I can look backward, which is very easy to do, and I can say, hey, it's no different than when we drink water. I was doing the right things, taking the right actions, making the right steps. It just takes time for the results to show up on our scorecard, for the metrics to translate and actually start to deliver at the level that I desire or I thought possible. We as humans are addicted, I guess is the word I would use, to instant gratification. And if you think about it, how many people order junk on Amazon? Everybody. We literally can go on Amazon right now in this moment and say, I'm out of toilet paper, I need more. And there is a 98% likelihood, depending on where you're listening from, that if you go on on Amazon, right now, you might be able to order it on Instagram actually, but if you go on Amazon right now and order toilet paper, it will be at your door before the end of the day. And worst case scenario, it will be there tomorrow morning when you wake up. So we are literally being trained all around us for instant gratification. Another example is coming out of COVID, grocery delivery became very common. Amazon got into the grocery business. How many people stopped going to the grocery store, or how many people do what we do, which is do curbside delivery? So you literally can go into an app, pick all of the groceries you want, drive into the parking lot, text some random number, some random letter of where you're parked, and somebody walks your groceries out, puts them in your car. So we're being trained constantly for instant gratification. And AI, I think, is only making this worse. If you have an idea, you have a concept, you have a thought, you literally can prompt engineer an answer almost instantly. So when it comes to actually getting success in life, getting success in relationships, getting success in business, we expect it to be instant. And in reality, it is not instant. It takes time. It takes energy. It takes effort. And most importantly, I believe that it takes discipline. Discipline that the actions I'm taking today, I'm going to have to take tomorrow. And I'm going to have to take the next day. And I'm going to have to take the next month. And I'm going to have to take the next month. And I'm going to have to take the next month. I might have to do these actions for the next 5 years without seeing a single reward or a single benefit. And when I was recognizing this while I journaled this morning, it hit me that the most important thing we can do in our lives and we can do in our businesses is detach from the outcome or the expectation. Because the thing that will kill humans faster than anything in pursuit of their dreams, in pursuit of their goals, in pursuit of their opportunities is a dissatisfaction with how quickly the result is actually showing up. And so when I was writing down my thoughts, I literally wrote down the words, just be patient. And for anybody that actually knows me, patience is not a word that I have yet figured out. As a matter of fact, my definition of patience is impatience to most people, because I'm wired to just want to go and get the result quickly. There's almost like a tick or a autistic trait that I have where when I get something in my brain, I cannot let it go until it gets done. Whether it's a business idea, whether it's an idea for my family, whether it's an idea around here at the ranch, heck, whether it's an idea for this podcast. When I get onto something, I pursue it relentlessly until I can see it, feel it, touch it, and understand, okay, that was what I wanted, or hey, that didn't quite feel like I thought it would. Let me choose something differently. So when I really think back on my life, I look at how well the dots connect looking backward. Steve Jobs, I always go to this quote. He said it best. He said, "You can never connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect the dots looking backward." And I just wanted to take a moment to remind myself, to remind you listening to this or watching this, that it's going to take time. That even when you manufacture challenges in your life and you choose in spite of the fear and the doubt, the results, the rewards, they're going to take time. And if you are willing to be disciplined enough to continue taking the action, and you are willing to be patient enough to stay on the path, you will achieve whatever you put your mind to. It may not look exactly like you thought it would at the end of the day, and most likely it won't. But that's one of the gifts, that's one of the blessings of life. We really can never understand what the future is going to do. And when the team and I were reading a book by Jeff Bezos, I believe, it's called The Everything Store. It's the story of Amazon. A quote that he said in this book really resonated with this concept. He said, "It is far easier and more fun to create the future than it is to predict it." It is far easier and far more fun to create the future than it is to predict it. We spend so much of our lives trying to predict the future. We spend so much of our lives trying to figure out where we're going, what's going to happen. Is the market going to go up? Is the market going to go down? What are interest rates going to do? Who's going to win the election? I wonder if this is a good buy, a bad buy. How is my wife going to respond? What are the kids going to say? Are they going to go to bed well? And at the end of the day, we don't really know what's going to happen. And if you sit back and think about that, there is some true beauty in that. We don't know what the future holds. The weatherman doesn't know if it's going to rain or not. The economist doesn't truly know if rates are going to go up or rates are going to go down. Yes, we can use data to try to make calculated bets or guesstimations, if you will, as to what the reality is going to look like. But at the end of the day, all we can do is create our own future. And for me, creating my own future has been one of the most rewarding, most frustrating, most time-consuming, and most beneficial things that I have ever done in my life. And I recognized that I can actually create my future today, but in reality, I don't know when it's going to show up. And if you can sit with that, if you can be still with that, there's beauty in it. The hero's journey says that it's not the destination that's most important. The hero's journey says it's the journey that makes the man or the woman. It's the journey that is the reward. So when we feel as though we're faced with a challenge and we make a choice and we don't see the instant result, why do we feel discouraged? Why do we feel sad? Why do we feel annoyed? We have to go back to the hydration effect. We saw a challenge, whether it was created by ourselves or not. We took action in spite of that challenge. And now the hydration or the result is just going to take time to work through the system and get down to a cellular level. And again, when you think about that, there is so much beauty in that. Because at the end of the day, I have seen firsthand that success in whatever you are trying to do in your life is never linear. There is no such thing as I'm going to do this, run to it, straight line, easy result. Success is truly about the journey. It's about constantly seeing roadblocks, constantly seeing obstacles, constantly seeing hurdles, and continuing to choose in spite of that. Now, in a perfect world, on your journey towards success, the end destination remains the same. But in reality, there are times where we have to change that. And a lot of people that set goals don't recognize that the beauty of setting goals is that they're your goals. And David Osborne, a man who has had a greater impact on my life than probably anybody else outside of my parents and my sister and my wife and my children, taught me at a very young age that there's only two reasons you don't succeed at your goals. The first one is you die. And let's hope to God that doesn't happen. But in reality, we're all going to die. So at some point, you will not achieve a goal because you are going to die. I just hope it's not today for me. I hope it's not today for you. I hope it's not for a very, very long time for all of us. But at the end of the day, that's one of the reasons we don't succeed at hitting what goal we set. The other reason, the most beautiful reason, is we change our mind. Now, we don't change our mind because the goal was hard and so I don't want to do this anymore. We change our mind because the data that I have today has helped me recognize and understand that that is no longer the destination that fits me, fits my vision, or is achievable in this moment. Let me give you a real life example. In 2021, I set out to ride a bull. People ask me all the time, like the mechanical kind? Look, if I rode a mechanical bull, there is no chance in hell I would ever told you I set out to ride a bull. I mean, the drunk girls on 6th Street here in Austin ride mechanical bulls. Like, that's not something to brag about. I wanted to ride the real thing. I wanted to sit on a 1,000-pound, 1,500-pound animal inside of the gate. I wanted to sit with my hand in the rope, my other hand up, which I still to this day don't understand what that's for. I think it's for balance, but I'm not a professional bull rider. And just feel the adrenaline of, can I hang on? This 1,000-pound, 1,500-pound animal has one goal: get me off its back. and then proceed to try to kill me, because bulls, generally speaking, the bucking bulls, are not the nicest creatures in the world. Now, you can find many videos online of them being super sweet, super calm, super tame, but when you tie a rope around I believe it's their nuts, but I don't really know where the rope goes, they're trained to buck, and they're trained to go after you. And I had that goal in 2021. Now, another thing that I've learned is I start my year November 1st. So most people choose to start their year January 1st. That's beautiful. Great. Happy New Year. Awesome. Start your year. But if I start my year on November 1st, I literally have 60 days more in a year than you have. If I start my year on December 1st, I literally have 30 days more in a year than you have. Now, I know you're sitting there going like, well, that's cute, but if you go November to November, you still have the same 12 months. Yes, I understand that. But if you start your year with me November 1st, I am telling you right now, you will be looking at the people around you and saying, I have way more time than you have to achieve what I've put on this piece of paper. And while you cakewalk to the pumpkin pie and the Christmas present opening and the one too many cervezas on New Year's, I'm in pursuit of the vision I have for next year already. So I rode this bull, and I rode this bull in December of 2021. I had already been on the path for my 2022 goals. I'd already been working towards my 2022 goals. And one of the goals I had in 2022 was to do 75 CrossFit sessions, because I wanted to get back into a competitive arena, a competitive environment. And at the end of the day, I recognized through the first CrossFit workout I did a long time ago when we moved to Austin that whether you like it or not, there's a lot of competition that happens at the CrossFit gym. I unfortunately learned that the hard way when an older woman who, let's say politely, was on the bigger side was cranking out more pull-ups than I was. I felt inside of me, if she can do it, I can do it. There's no way I'm going to let that woman beat me. And so I did as many pull-ups as I could, more pull-ups than I'd ever done in my entire life. And on the last set of pull-ups, I watched over to see how she was doing, because again, that competitive nature is like, I got to beat her. Like, there's no way she can win. I noticed that she had a rubber band from the bar down to her knee that was helping pull her up, which I failed to notice like the first 5 sets of pull-ups. So literally for the next couple of weeks, I couldn't straighten my arms. I had torched my arms so badly. There was so much lactic acid in my arms that I could not straighten my arms out. But I recognized that I wanted that adrenaline, that competitive nature to come back into my life. And so in 2022, I was going to do 75 CrossFit sessions. Fast forward to the bull riding. Get on the back of the bull. Still to this day, don't know why I wore spurs. Apparently it makes the bull kick harder, which I'm not a professional bull rider, so I didn't really need it to do, but I wore spurs. And at the time, I wasn't a rancher or a cowboy, and so I didn't even have cowboy boots. I went that morning and bought these, like, I think they're called like chukka boots or something like that. I bought these random dress-looking boots that kind of like went mid-ankle height and thought, oh, these will be fine. These will be booty enough for riding a bull, because my Amazon high tops certainly aren't going to get the job done. So I had the spurs on, ride the bull. All of a sudden, I'm riding the bull, and they start yelling, get off, get off, get off. I panicked. I was like, is the bull going to kill me? What's going to happen? Why are they panicking? Is the bull going to die? Is there a heart attack? So I just let go. I let go with no awareness of where I truly was inside of the arena or the bucking pen. Kind of got launched into the gate. As I came down on the gate, my right foot got caught on the bottom bar. The spur dug into the ground. And as my body, which at the time was a little bit heavier, went over my legs, because the spur was in the ground, my Achilles snapped. Didn't know it at the time. Got up, tried to run because I thought the bull was going to kill me. Didn't really move very quickly. Felt a ton of adrenaline rushing through my body. Figured it was because I just rode the bull. Was like, oh my gosh, my ankle really hurts. Got up, tried to walk. Wasn't able to walk very well. Recognized that I ruptured my Achilles tendon. If you know anything about rupturing Achilles tendons, the recovery time is very long. And it is not a fun process, and I've done it twice. But CrossFit is a lot of high intensity interval training. It's a lot of box jumps. It's a lot of bar snatches. It's a lot of quick movements, most of which load the Achilles tendon. So my goal in 22 of 75 CrossFit sessions was now not achievable. It was delusional. Actually, it would have put me in a place where I could have really hurt myself and maybe torn my Achilles for the third time and gotten a cadaver Achilles, which would have been kind of cool to have somebody else's Achilles in me, but it would have been a terrible recovery process. And so this concept of having goals and recognizing that there's only two reasons you don't achieve them is magical in a situation like this. That goal of 75 CrossFit sessions wasn't going to be missed because I died, but it also wasn't going to be hit because of what happened to my Achilles. And so if you're on the pursuit of a goal, if you're on the pursuit of success and you think it's going to be linear, you're delusional. You literally have the ability to just change, just choose something else. I erased the goal of 75 CrossFit sessions, and that year I got into the pool, which I hated swimming, by the way, and didn't achieve that goal, not because I died and not because I changed my mind, but because I wasn't actually committed to the goal at the level I needed to be committed to in order to achieve it. But when you are on the pursuit of success and you have goals inside of your life, the sooner you recognize that success is not linear, and the sooner you recognize that the only reason I'm not going to achieve this is either A, I die, or B, I choose something different, your life literally will become limitless. And I've seen this firsthand in my own personal life. There's been business goals that I've pursued that on the pursuit of it no longer felt interesting to me, no longer felt right to me. There's been goals in my relationship that I've pursued that for one kid, two kids, or three kids a reason later, no longer were in alignment with what was possible inside of our lives in this moment today. There's been opportunities to achieve success that I thought would be easy, and in reality was met with roadblocks, obstacles, and a bunch of turns that I wasn't expecting and I hadn't anticipated. But if we go back to that concept we talked about originally of being patient, we recognize that the hero's journey is all about the journey. Success is all about the journey. And the more we can stay on that journey, and the more we can embrace that journey, and the less detached we can become from the outcomes, the more fruitful I believe the journey truly is. And in turn, the more fruitful our life truly becomes. What if I told you that the biggest breakthrough in your wealth, your health, or your relationships doesn't come from grinding harder, but from finding the right community? GoBundance is a community of over 800 high performers, entrepreneurs, and investors with a combined net worth of over $5.7 billion. But look, it's not just about the money. We're about building lives of abundance. Inside of GoBundance, we hold each other to a higher standard. It's a brotherhood built around 6 core pillars that touch on every aspect of life. So what does that actually look like? Look at guys like Diego Corzo, who after joining GoBundance became financially free, built a large real estate portfolio, gave a TEDx talk, and even got invited to the White House. Or John Edwin, who doubled his passive income while also helping his son launch a business at the age of 15. Even Daniel Del Real, who thought he was at GoBundance for business growth, but realized he needed to transform his health. 8 Ironmans later, he's a completely different man. This tribe is built for men who've already found success, but know there's another level. For our families, our health, our purpose, and our legacy. If you're ready for a tribe that challenges you to achieve a higher standard for yourself, visit GoBundance.com/tribe. That's GoBundance.com/TRIBE to apply today. This episode is brought to you by Loletta Birnbaum, LLC, doing business justice. If you're a business owner, entrepreneur, real estate investor, or a combination of each, you know how critical it is to have trusted legal advisors on your team. Loletta Birnbaum has built a stellar reputation providing exceptional legal services that make a difference. As a national business law firm, Loletta Birnbaum provides a wide variety of legal services, including general corporate, contract negotiations, mergers and acquisitions, succession planning, intellectual property, commercial litigation, shareholder disputes, real estate, and employment. Whether you're navigating a complex business deal, resolving disputes, or protecting your brand, their team delivers practical, results-driven legal solutions tailored to your goals. For inquiries, GoBundance members should email Loletta Birnbaum at gobundance@loletta.com. That's LAULETTA.com. You can also visit their website at www.lauletta.com to learn more about how they can do your business justice. This episode is brought to you by Apex Functional Health, the team behind age-defying health at GoBundance. If you're a high achieving entrepreneur, investor, or leader, you know that your health is your greatest asset. But the truth is, traditional medicine isn't built for people like you. It treats symptoms, ignores root causes, and keeps you stuck in cycles of fatigue, stress, and subpar performance. That's where Apex comes in. They do not do band-aids. They engineer elite health transformations for men, women, and children looking to optimize their health and be proactive instead of reactive. Apex uses root cause functional medicine, advanced lab testing, and cutting-edge biohacking tools to help you optimize energy, eliminate the root cause holding you back, and reverse early signs of aging so you can live, feel, and perform at your best. Apex helps you take control of your health so you can lead with power, not burnout. Visit apexfunctionalhealth.com to schedule your free strategy call and see what's possible when your body finally works for you, not against you. What's slowing your business down? Is it endless emails, scheduling headaches, repetitive tasks that steal your time? My Outdesk has your solution. Their experienced global virtual assistants handle the busy work so you can focus on strategy, growth, and whatever matters to you most. From administrative support to marketing and customer service, they've got you covered at a fraction of the cost of hiring in-house. Scale smarter, save bigger, get the support you need today at My Outdesk. This first episode, or this first session, if you will, of In the Saddle, I really just kind of wanted to riff on what was in my journal, what's really been weighing on me recently. And for me, it's all around this concept of patience and needing to embrace patience and understand patience and lean into the patience. I mean, we had a cow here the other day that was about to have a calf. I don't know anything about cows calving and the gestational period of a cow and the signs of when they're in labor. Like, I know the basic symptoms of labor, like they start to get a milk bag, which means their udders fill up with milk. Then their lady parts start to swell up. And the term that everybody uses in the industry is get spongy, which is a very interesting term, especially when you look at the backside of a cow. And so I knew this cow was close, but I didn't really know how close. Every single day I went out and checked on her. Literally, there was some days where I'm like, today's the day. And I would sit there and just stare at a cow's lady parts for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes while on a call. I'm like, oh, she's having a contraction. Oh, this is it. This is it. It literally took 10 days for her to have that calf. 10 days. I was beside myself. Couldn't sleep, anxious. Is there something wrong? Is she going to have twins? Do I need to pull the calf? Did she already lose the baby? I had no freaking idea when that baby was coming out. But I recognized in that moment what a beautiful lesson that cow, that this ranch experience was trying to teach me. It was just trying to show me patience, man. The cow's going to have the baby when the cow's going to have the baby. The results you're seeking in your life is going to come when the results you're seeking in your life comes. You can work as hard as you want. You can push as hard as you want. You can pay as much as you want, but the result is not going to be instant. If you are on the pursuit of losing weight and you work out really hard today, you might get on the scale tomorrow and see no change. You might get on the scale next week and see no change. But if you are willing and able to stay disciplined enough to the diet and the exercise required, 6 months from now, you will see the change on the scale. It might not be exactly what you thought. It might not look exactly like you thought. It might have been way harder or even way easier than you thought, but you will see the results. And the journey to get there is where the rewards are. And again, it won't be linear. You're going to have a great week. Then it's going to be your kid's first birthday and you're going to fall off the bus because you ate 13 pieces of cake and had a sugar high and then became addicted to sugar and then wanted a cookie and went from cookies to syrup and syrup to M&Ms and M&Ms to Kit Kats. But at the end of the day, if you can get back on the train, if you can get back disciplined with the diet, if you can get back disciplined with the actions required, at some point, at some future date, at some future time, the reward will show up. So whether you are pursuing success in business, whether you're pursuing success in your relationship, whether you're pursuing success from a health perspective, whether you're pursuing health from a contribution perspective, if you're anything like me, recognize and appreciate that the journey is the destination. Success will not be linear. And the more challenges you can put in front of yourself, and the easier you can choose in spite of adversity, in spite of fear, and in spite of that challenge, the more powerful you will become inside of your life. And at the end of the day, on my deathbed, what I want my kids to be saying, what I want my wife to be saying, because there's no doubt I'll die before her, is, man, he lived boldly. He created memories. He took risks in spite of the fear, in spite of the doubt, in spite of the knowledge, in spite of the preparedness, if that's a word. And for that, we can honor him. We can be grateful to have known him. We learned from him. So manufacture some challenges. Be patient. Detach from the outcome, detach from the expectation, and understand that at the end of the day, the journey is truly the destination. That's how I ended my journal prompt. That's how I ended my reflection. And that's the message I wanted to share with you guys in this first solo episode on the podcast, which I'm going to call From the Saddle, even though I don't really like horses and am deathly allergic to them. Let me know what y'all thought about this episode. This is the first time. It's awkward. It's uncomfortable. I'm going to be real with you. I procrastinated doing this for a very long time, but I thought if I just give you guys a glimpse into what's going on in my mind, somebody somewhere will feel some courage. Somebody somewhere will learn something, and somebody somewhere may finally give themselves the permission to take action toward the life they desire. And for that, I took the risk. For that, I did the solo episode. And for that, thank you for your time today. Chair stuck under the table. Can't get out of the table. We got a problem. What in the hell am I going to do? Ah, there we go. Chair was stuck on the mic cord, didn't rip the mic out. That's a good sign.